Used to Maurice's face.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Little Marianne McGuire was the new girl at the school. Her mother moved around a lot looking for work, so Small Town High was Marianne's 4th school in 3 years. She arrived late on her first day of classes. Mrs. McCarthy, her homeroom teacher, warned her about tardiness. She'd let it go this time, but
repeat offenders have to go to the office and visit Mr. Fowler.
The other kids froze in their seats. Then she heard frightened whispers. Oh no, Mr. Fowler, not Mr. Fowler. Marianne got the feeling that something was wrong at Small Town High. At lunchtime the next day, one of the girls accidentally bumped Marianne, spilling her tray. Mrs. Hardiman, the cafeteria lady, told her that accidents do happen, but if it ever happened again, she'd have to have a chat with Mr. Fowler. Suddenly, the cafeteria was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Then, the whispering began. Fowler, Fowler, she'll have to go see Fowler. On the 3rd day in Mr. Brett's chemistry class, he called upon her to answer a simple question. When she didn't know the correct number of valence shells in a plutonium atom, he looked at her sternly.
Students who fall behind in their studies must have a consultation with Mr. Fowler.
The room fell silent. Jeannie Rasmussen broke into tears. Phil Bunches at the next table dropped his test tube. Then, that whispering started. Marianne couldn't stand it anymore. She just couldn't believe everyone was so frightened of one dumb principal. She gathered her books.
Just where do you think you're going?
Asked Mr. Brett. To see Mr. Fowler, said Marianne. Mr. Brett's eyes went wide, his mouth fell open. Marianne made her way down the creaky staircase to the main floor.
Can I help you, dear?
Asked Mrs. Hubbard, the secretary. I've come to see Mr. Fowler, said Marianne.
And why would you need to see him?
Questioned Mrs. Hubbard. I've been bad, said Marianne, thinking quickly. Really bad. Mrs. Hubbard's face went as white as a preacher's collar.
No, not today. He's extremely busy. Now scoot.
That's when Marianne heard the roar from behind the frosted glass door.
Bring me the next student.
No wonder all the kids were so terrified.
Go! Get out while you still can!
Urged Mrs. Hubbard. After school that day, she waited in the rain for her mother to pick her up. She looked back at the school. There was only one light on. In the principal's office. And through the sound of the rain, she could make out his roaring laughter. Wait a sec, Mom. There's something I forgot. Inside were the teachers. All of them having a party. And laughing. Until Mr. Brett saw her. He rushed over to pull down the blinds, but it was too late. Marianne had seen the truth. Mr. Fowler had looked right at her, as evil and scary as could be. But he wasn't scary at all, because Mr. Fowler was actually a dummy. A puppet built by the teachers, meant to keep the kids scared and well-behaved. This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. And Marianne's made a lot of friends at Small Town High. And she's definitely not afraid to visit the principal's office anymore.